Okay, welcome back to lesson 46. I think this is going to be our very last retropology for now, for the next three pieces of the items that we had previously sculpted, as this is the knee part. I'm still yet to decide if I'm going to join the knee as part of the lower leg and the shoe together. The boot, I'm thinking about making that a one object. Undecided yet. I might have a play about and have a look for the final model before exporting it across. But in this video we're going to go over the sculpted knee, the lower leg and the shoe, and we're also going to have a look at just isolating the different topology and just changing some colours and doing some different stuff. Pretty much everything that we've passed, everything we've previously covered. Again, this is just a bit more, a little bit more tedious, and as you can see, just retopologizing, making it nice and decent just for the final model. Adding in our creases, as you can see, using our just selecting the edge loops and then adding creases in where they are needed. And then I will probably go over this maybe later on just to edit this and see what else we can do. I was just experimenting at this point, just seeing what else would look good. I sometimes do a bit of trial and error, going through it, see what it would look like if I did this, see what it looked like if I did that. And also I'd like to use the gold and purple sort of material colours as well for the whole model, to keep it nice and to make it look decent pretty much over the whole model. So here we are on the lower leg. Unfortunately I lost a lot of footage when I was retopologizing this, so this will make it even quicker. Basically what I'm doing here is I hid everything and now I'm just pressing Ctrl Z to undo everything I've hidden as I talk about it a little bit. So as you can see, this is actually the finished piece for the lower leg, very similar to exactly how we did on the upper leg. I don't think there was much geometry changes compared to the upper leg. I did sculpt some extra, well, I smoothed down some bits and then sculpted some other bits, and then I noticed there was some fragment tearing in the geometry, and I didn't quite like that, so I started to connect some vertices together to make some tries, and I was playing around with the crease tool and just seeing what would look better, and if I moved the vertices to see if that will also make it look good as well. Of course, I'm not sure if I've mentioned this, but when we're finished retopologizing the model and I've got the creases in the right place and I've got subdivision on, and I've added the colour and materials on like so, I've also then gone ahead and make sure there's no part of the leg showing. If there's any part of the leg showing on, I tend to just pull out the model piece. I don't really want to change much of the anatomy of the body at the moment. I will probably, I know the face is changing currently at the moment, and maybe the breasts updating a little bit, but hey ho. So we're going to go straight into the next bit of the topology. I've made my sculpt models all gold color, so I can then see my retopology when I put it on. Maybe at the beginning I do things a little bit different sometimes. Just trying to see what works best for me, as I'm trying different things each time, trying to see what's good, what's not good, and it's just for the purpose of the videos to also show the kind of level that, or the different directions you can go in when you're watching these. In the meantime, we're going to talk a little bit about the sculpting, between sculpting and the retopologizing. It is actually good to try and sculpt as much as you can before the retopologizing, because sometimes you might have to, say if you got halfway through the retopologizing, then you realize, I've made some mistakes in sculpting, or something didn't look right. 9 times out of 10 you can just maybe just fix it by retopologizing. Just hit the transform tool and just move your verts into place if it's a little bit off, or there's some bits of detail you've missed maybe in the sculpt mode on the sculpt object. If it's in a specific area where you haven't retopologized yet, then by all means just go back to that model, hit sculpt mode, and then just re-edit that. Or if not, then you may have to change the retopology if you've already gone over certain parts. A little bit of a tedious job, as you can see, rinse and repeat over and over again. And as you can see, with our mirror modifier turned on, with the clipping turned on, and joining up the vertices to the center. Sometimes you might come across vertices to join to the center, which then you can then re-edit once you've applied the mirror modifier. You can actually turn them into bigger quads if it's like a giant area that you can just fill. I recommend that actually because it makes it look smoother for the topology when using the subdivision surface. However, say for example you might want to put like a seam line in it for UV unwrapping, then you may just have to leave that edge there. So now once we have finished with the boot and the retopologizing the boot, we're just going around now just editing some of the vertices, making them look just making it look more smooth, and then adding in our creases to make the detail on the boots look a bit sharper. I'm yet to look maybe into this. I might change it again. I'm not entirely sure. That is one thing I keep on doing. Keep on going back and changing things, going back and changing things. I've seen a lot of images, a lot of artists, a lot of different concepts and ideas. I've sort of gone from the top of my head on this. I haven't actually followed any sort of concept art when modeling this, but I have noticed actually there was a few really cool armored warrior type pieces of armor that I have seen on Pinterest, which I really liked, and I remember them, which was kind of what I was going off. Also, a lot of the armor designs reminds me a bit from World of Warcraft. I did like the armor. A lot of if there's any World of Warcraft fans out there, then you know that a lot of good early on vanilla tier sets were actually very good, and I remember the times back then we had good fun farming them bosses. And then you get the random pug that just ninja loots. Yes, that's definitely the vanilla version. But hey ho, I'd like to see that pug ninja steal my loot now. When I've created it. Mohahaha. So, once we've finished the boot, also this is a good example. I've pressed Alt-N then, so when pressing Alt-N whilst everything's selected, you can recalculate on the outside, make sure your normals are on the outside. I may have mentioned it in the previous video. It's very good for after once you're finished and you're about to apply modifiers. It's always good to check, and also your face orientation, you can turn that on through the viewport as well. So you can actually see what size red, which size blue. If it's on the blue side, it's good. If it's red, that means they need flipping. I can also cover this as well in a YouTube tutorial later on. That's not a problem. If you want to learn more about this, let me know in the comments below, and or reach out to me in my Discord. I'll be happy to go over that. So, as you can see, the edge creases and colouring each of the specific parts of the foot, making sure my mirror is working correctly, and ordering everything in my scene collections there. So, I think that's everything for this video. I'm just going to mirror this across to the other side of the foot, make sure the snapping tool is turned off, And I think that is everything for now, and I will catch you in the next lesson. Thanks for watching.